shit back. And that's officially for them. That date for that one is March 7th, 2023. And then there's Saturn return in Pisces, because they decided to live under this Pisceonic monetary in particular system and even political system. That's why I said political system is done. So they're getting both of their shit at the same time. And the thing with the Pluto one, that's not something that comes like every 3 months, whatever. It's a once every 200, I want to say 50 or 60 something years. So this is their complete, and it sits for a long time, like 19 years. So, and that second one is March 23rd. So they're literally getting them all at the same time.
So that's what these sigils say in the layout of DC.
Mm.
That's what the translation is. What you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says it's a triple overlay.
Yep.
Financial, political, and really it's legal, but it translates as governmental.
Yep.
But it's legal. It's the law is being returned back to its proper position, which is the great law.
Yep.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of debts, finances, and of course, return of the land. So all of that stuff has got to reset, basically.
So the ancient code of kings and the rights to the earth right both is in agreement that once the original system is restored, balance returned back to the land, the air, and the water.
Yes.
And that's the exercise of the great law.
Yes.
So if this was to be facilitated by making people close out the conjures, now it would make sense. Because any great conjure that's open causes a delay in the ability for the system to turn over.
Right. That's why it has to be closed out. Like I even had that discussion. It has to be closed out prior to March 7, 2023. Like all the conjures have to be closed. That's like the final day, period. Because if it's open, then we don't need it open. Yeah.
So somebody said, what's the significance of May is Mary, minus the R. Right? Mary is the rebellious woman, the mother of the sun. So that's Isis energy as the protective mother, born in March. Right? And March is Pisces, Aries, right? Pisces.
They'll be under Pisceonic. Well, interestingly enough, one hits under Pisces and one hits in the conjunctive Pisces Aries, but it's a Pisceonic energy though.
And Aries come in also in May, right?
In March.
I mean, in March.
March, April.
Yeah, yeah, it comes in March 22nd to 23rd. So it's so when their Saturn return hits, it's technically going to hit ironically under Aries, which is under the Bookman.
and that's the fire and war.
Yeah.
And Aries is the god of war.
Yes, and he's ruled by Mars, which is the god of war, which is now sitting in Gemini doing its thing because it's collecting energy right now.
Okay, so we slowed it down now. I think we got it to a pace where we could.
I'm over here reading the messages. I'm reading the messages. It's beautiful. Like I be putting on for Mississippi and Florida, and the Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana connection, and they are showing so much love to the Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? The night full moon, man, send some power down so we can stop down on it. You know what's out here. Y'all know what we're fighting up against down here. Send some manifestation of like help me them destroy this shit down here. Like anyway, but you want to speak on the Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi connection?
Well, you know, we used to walk the trees from Louisiana all the way to Florida, so chopped them all down.
Even through Arkansas, actually, too.
Yeah, well, they chopped down the trees off. They gutted the East Coast for their trees. Yeah. Right. Most of this land was forested because we chose to have it forested for a reason. When they came in, they wanted to be able to see us riding on the backs of the alligators in the Everglades. They couldn't see us because it was the thicket was too thick. And then when we pop up on their ass, we right there in their face. Now, the modern reference is the purpose of Agent Orange in the Vietnam War is the same purpose they were setting forest fires over here. We used to be so in tune with the gators, they had to use our children as food for alligators in order to get them to develop a taste for our fats.
Facts.
And that's why you notice a lot of slave revolts had meetings in swamps, whether it was Florida, IAT, or whatever, because we was very in tune and always have been in tune in our
Man, I'm not at home right now, but both of y'all seen some of the artifacts I have, and all the artifacts are books for us, and all of them show literally our ancestors, the women riding the crocodiles away from their enemies, or sending the crocodiles to the ancient dragon. I'm from Panama. My grandfather's from Panama, and then my other side of my family is from Benin. Both sides don't know each other per se, but except for if they're saying it's a slave trade, but I'm thinking it's going back to Mental Bakari II, where it was 3,000 ships that came from over there. So they try to make it seem like it's all slavery, but we came over here on business as well.
We've been trading and marrying with people from Africa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's hard to explain it, but most people don't be on. You know what I'm saying?
In the islands, in the South Americas, and Southern America, we was marrying people from Africa the whole goddamn time.
Right.
On the West Coast, we was marrying Polynesians, Asians, motherfucking Filipinos.
Yes.
We would going across the water. They, bring wives to trade from the royal families to make family treaties and shit through marriage. Right. So when we realize that, we understand that the whole slave narrative, that's why it falls apart. Because the prehistoric bloodlines have all of this testimony that overrides what any of their books say.
Right.
So we know that when we was iron workers on the railroads in the Southwest, that we was working next to the motherfuckers that they kidnapped in China.
Yep.
But we don't want to talk about the Chinese slave trade in the Americas. But we was working right next to them.
Yeah.
They thought we were some phenomenal working motherfuckers. Listen to the song Big John. Listen to the song John Henry.
Even the one they also dressed up as the
man. He was a big old man. You know, go to describing him.
John Henry was hammering on that mountain. They said he was 10 feet tall in that song. You remember that from the nursery rhyme? I remember that in elementary school. Because they said John Henry was hammering on that mountain. He was either, they said 8 feet tall or 10 feet tall. I remember that. They say he hammered so hard that he broke his heart. But yeah, I remember that song. That's when they was cutting down our crystal trees, our big ass trees and stuff.
OG, 1 second though. Somebody said a question or made a statement, and I do want to address that. They said there was never no slave ships found. There's no ships over here found for anything. There's no ships over here for white people either. We got to get out of that narrative of I guess everybody wants to be free.
Look,
I'm addressing that real quick because people were saying that, and we're disrespecting the ancestors. Shit happened. A lot of shit happened, and we can't discredit one for the other. I think that's where we get it, like over this or that, and we try to force it. But the slave trade did happen. Niggas were getting traded all around the South Americas and America. That shit happened, but there was still niggas over here too. It's not one or the other. But people be like, well, there's no slave ships. Where are the Europeans? You don't see their ships either. You don't see the great ship Jesus.
You look up Ellis Island. They coming up. Look, we got the ships, but we don't have the sardine pack slave ships they talk about. That's just an overlay for Notre Dame University because the plot was a collegiate educational plot. It was developed in the educational boardrooms of Rome. Right? It just so happened that Notre Dame is in France. And France is where Paris is, and Paris is the city of Isis. France means Frank. Right? So if France means Frank, and Frank is a male name for Francis in the English, Francis being the Latin. To do what's necessary to offer the proper aid and assistance to your child. But one of the things is if you have a boy or girl that they say is hyperactive, the girls we developed in Atlanta is something called gymnastics. That's for girls with high Shakti energy. They diagnosing those girls now with ADD, ADHD, bipolar disorder. They just not teaching them how to harness that energy. So we gave them gymnastics. The more rebellious but more highly feminine types was given figure skating, and they was given different what's that synchronized swimming, because they're controlling the less hostile rebellious energy. But gymnastics is more aggressive. Some of the females, if they lift a little bit of weights, it'll help them tune down that high energy output, and then they become more. If you look at Dominique Dawes now, beautiful woman. If she wouldn't have went through the gymnastics training that she did, she would be a problem. She would be a problem. She would be one of them sisters that the system has to mount an army against. But she was able to temper that energy, that high Shakti energy. That's them warrior women. And we had exercises like roller skating is a variant of figure skating, right? The girls used to skate and the guys used to skateboard. It's it was just a harnessing of the energy. For the boys, shit, take them outside, let them motherfuckers run till they wear down. Then you try to teach them something. And don't be scared to give them the CBD oils that doesn't have THC in it, because it relaxes the central nervous system.
Right.
Right. So that's a very, very important thing. Then you got teas you can give them to help inner peace, like skullcap tea. Uh, Another one I think is called Jonathan Winters tea. Um, uh, what's the other one? It's a couple of different teas but it calms the central nervous system, and then now they can focus. See, they rather give them a pharmaceutical that's going to give them permanent damage, so you can't. It's harder to correct them later. You don't need that. It's herbs. It's herbs for all of this. Right now, I'm a little rusty on my herbology, but I used to know this off the top of my head 5, 10 years ago. I used to just run it all down because I gave the same stuff to people I used to work with. They come in to work, all distraught about their child, and then I talk to them. I'm like, "Well, just try this," and they come back and be like, "I don't know where you got that remedy from." you know, yeah, but they work, right? So. Yeah, so it's different stuff depending on the child.
Absolutely. And you know, in our tradition, we it was very common for us to give our children herbs. And you know, Caribbean people would drink tea. Actually, I have mine right here. Depending on what's going on. So, you know, soursop is a great one. We have it on our website, but you can get it. The organic soursop is really good for calming the central nervous system. It's great for sleep and relaxation if there's cases of insomnia. And it's also good for any type of cell in the body that grows abnormally, i.e. cancer, i.e. tumors. It goes in and eats away at the bad functioning cell that keeps the good one intact. So it's very safe. Men, women, children, all ages can take soursop leaf, the leaf, not the fruit in this context. It's really good. Lemon balm is also amazing for children with nervous stomach. So the anxiety seems in going to the stomach, or when they're going to school and they're like, "Oh, mommy, my stomach hurts," or something. If they're leaving and you know their stomach is hurting them, they doesn't know why. Lemon balm is really good. And it's also very high in antimicrobial, antibacterial, so it'll keep them healthy and strong. And these are some things that we can do to help ourselves. Like the mother gives us air, water. You know, these are all of the resources that are all around us, so we can help to heal ourselves. So family, think about getting on this herbal journey. Find out what's around you, what's local, and what can really help you to be well. So I 100% concur on that.
So just a couple of things. The yoni, when it's alkaline, none of the diseases that affect us wouldn't be there. Nothing can live there in the alkaline state. The herpes can't live there. They need to be in an anaerobic environment. Gonorrhea can live there because it needs an aerobic environment. All of these diseases that we run into. If the woman's yoni is alkaline instead of acidic, it can't exist there. It can't stay there. It won't. It won't. It can't survive. It's like dropping one of these kids off 8 years old in the desert, telling them to find your way to a civilization. They're not going to survive because the environment is too hostile for what they're capable of doing. Right?
Exactly.
Cancer. Yeah, candida yeast is probably the number one killer that we don't never hear about, right?
That's true.
Cancer is from DNA replication, and then the DNA parts break off from the chain and become a free radical. The broken chain then is deformed. If you're not taking the supplemental amino acid, or if you don't have enough vitamin and mineral components in the blood to rebuild that DNA strand, it's gonna attack itself, right? And once it starts folding in on itself, it's gonna try to correct the error, but it can't. Then it's gonna grow what you call a mass or a tumor, which is a whole bunch of those motherfuckers. But the simple process of cleaning the liver increases or decreases your cancer risk by 60% just by cleaning your liver. The cleaning your liver also decreases congestive heart failure by like 90%, because congestive heart failure, the fluid buildup in the heart cavity is the perspiration of the liver. Cleaning the liver, it'll get rid of about 95% of high blood pressure, because most high blood pressure, they don't tell you, is called portal hypertension, where the congested liver causes the portal valve to the liver to back up the pressure in the rest of the body, because it can't effectively filter through the liver. Right. So just cleaning the liver alone, that's milk thistle, burdock root, dandelion root, just those three alone, and it starts to increase your health. Right. Now, your intestines, you clean your liver first, because the bile that allows your digestive tract to run comes from the liver through the spleen. So when your bile ducts become congested, your stool is abnormal, which causes stomach problems. The acids begin to burn the stomach lining, because it doesn't have the bile barrier to block it. Right. So all of these things is critical for health, and not just for the female, but for the men too.
Absolutely. And I've seen too, I don't know if you noticed, but Rod, but when I see, like, I had liver disease about 10 years ago, and I also had cervical cancer, which I healed myself of completely, and I help others to do the same. And what I noticed about the liver in particular, since you brought it up, that the emotion that causes, what is the energy, the vibration, all right, has me thinking. And so what I've seen is that the emotion, rather, of frustration, the emotion of anger, sort of sits in the liver, right? And so
Oh Lord, don't let them start this shit when we start getting good. I don't know what's going on. Well, she'll come back in. I'm pretty sure. She'll come back in.
all right.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
I was like, this Instagram doing this BS again.
Grateful to be back. Thank you all so much. And so when we see these emotions, right, that sit in the liver, we think of anger and frustration. And so what is causing the anger? What is the causing the frustration? Because I've helped people with these conditions, and if the energy itself, what are we angry? If we angry at the world? Are we angry at our mother? Are we angry at how we was raised? Are we angry at the job, society? All of those emotions are frustrating and sit right in the liver. Right. And so I think when people are talking about healing and detoxing, you also have to, again, like I said, the emotions of it. And so it's just so important just to think about the emotions. And another thing too, people who wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, according to the Chinese time clock, I think 3 to 5 is the hour of the liver, where it's working this best to detox over your, and you can't go back to sleep constantly. And you may be frustrated subconsciously. You may be angry at something subconsciously. And it may be just an indication, just to look and see what energy is trying to get your attention and start to heal that. To help also to heal your liver, along with what Brother Rod mentioned. Milk thistle seed is also a great herb. If you have a little bit of liver left, you go on a great cleansing diet and use milk thistle seed in addition to the herbs Brother Rod mentioned. It will help to regrow and regenerate your liver. It's very good. And another way you can tell if you have a liver condition, you can look at your skin. Is it blotchy? Is it uneven? Are you breaking out? Is it itchy? Is it eczema like? These are some things that you can look to self-diagnose yourself. A lot of people want to run to the doctor and get a cream for this and get a cream for that, but mother's like, I got a protocol for all of that. What you're
Yes.
going to do is fast. What you're going to do is take these herbs. What you're going to do is relax. What you're going to do is do some spiritual work. These are just all messengers to say, hey, pay attention to what's out of alignment. So anytime you see anything, it's always just a messenger of what might be out of alignment.
So we got different glands that secrete different secretions. Every one of our emotions is tied to a gland. This is what the old Kemetic medical system taught.
Right.
Right. So all of the glands is responsible for running you through the emotion to help you resolve that energy. The secretions is there, right? So when I say, for instance, when you fall in love, what is going on in the body? Oxytocin production in male and female. You have a rapid dopamine rush in the system whenever the person is pulling on your heartstring. Then you produce what they call neuroepinephrine, and then you produce beta endorphin. That's the chemicals your brain produce as the love cocktail. The side effect or why it's doing this is because somebody is causing your mitochondria to say that's a match. Mitochondrial is responsible for powering your cells.